Hi all. Today we are going to check how we need to do unit testing and how we can cover the test cases and how what is the importance of these test cases and why we are using these test cases and how we can write the test cases in the component as well as in services and all this. So today we'll see this by the example. So first thing what we need to do before going to the so we can directly check ng test to check the testing whatever so it will give you test results of your project. So first thing you need to check. It will take some time. It will generate your browser and then it will run the test cases. And if you have any problems, any errors, then first you need to solve it and then you will get a correct result of this unit test cases. Yeah, now if you see, you will get one pop-up where you will get all the test cases, how many test cases are failed, how many test cases are passed, and so this is what karma we are saying karma test cases. Okay, so Jasmine and Karma is used for this Angular application to check this test cases. Okay, so here if you see 9 specs are pass and 0 failures. So if you are having any failure, you will get the failure message. So which are the components? App component, it is having user component, page component, data service, dashboard component, and login component. So this is what we need to see. Okay, now to make it very clear, will and here also you can see how many which are the test cases and logs also you can see. Okay, so this is how you can check the test cases. So now you will have a question, what is test cases and how we need to create it and why it is important to write the test cases for your application. Okay, so let me so first thing I need to tell you, we can check the coverage as well. So in your code whatever you have written, so that you can see where you have covered all the test where it is went and where it is not went. So therefore that will have coverage. Okay, so these things you need to go to package.json and there you need to write this command, write test, then ng test will be available there. So make it watch equals to true, so that whenever you save it will automatically run that coverage thing and test also. And you need to write this hyphen hyphen coverage, then you will see the coverage as well. Okay, so this is how you need to queue. So now we'll go to the main topic, what is test case and why it is important. So first thing, let me go to user, just for example. Let me just go here. Yeah, so let me just go here. So this is what user we have. So user component.ts. So now we have these functions. So functions, we cannot test all the functions. So whatever a developer we have, so we cannot test all the functionalities like by checking positive negative things. So for that purpose, and if we deploy it directly, then if some problem comes, then we will have issues in the main branch, okay, in the live application. So before it we need to do testing, like something unit testing. So all the functions we need to test, is it working properly or not. Okay, so for that purpose we have unit testing. So first we'll check general things how we can test, and then we'll go for and how to do coverage as well, we'll see. Okay, so here we have sample function like add. Okay, so now we need to write test case for this. So for writing test case we have one spec.ts file in every component as well as services as well as these things. So we need to open it. Okay, so here you will see a described and your component name. So this is what a description for that component. Above you will have some declaration. Okay, so this is one function where we need to just give whatever dependencies. So before each means it will call before every test cases. Okay, so this is one function where it will call. So here we'll have some declaration, and this is what a user component, it is picture, and then we can use it, this component we can use, so we can call directly. So here they have created one instance of that component, so this component we can use in every file. And if you have some dependencies, so like here I am seeing, if you go above, so here we have router and services, so those dependencies I have added like this, and this is what I have injected, and we need to write it in providers. Okay, router also I need to add. So these are the providers. Okay, and now you will see this one like create, should create. So this is what test case. Okay, this is one test case. Okay, so this is just they are checking. Now we'll check what is this add. Okay, so add first we'll see. Yeah, so for this add, so now we have created this command, right? So what we need to use, npm run, and then whatever command this is command, so whatever we have we'll need to write here, npm run and test. So this, now this will, if you see ng test coverage, so this, you if you see here you can see that same command is running. Okay, so this is what we need to write for this. Now watch equals to true, why we need, because if we make it true, then no need to call it always. So whenever you save anything, then again it will call that things, and you will get the report again. If you make it false, then you need to write, you need to again and again you need to run that command, and it will take some time. So that's why we are making it npm run. So watch equals to true. So this is first thing, we will get coverage. This is what test results we have, 9 specs and 0 failures. And now this coverage also will come. So if you go, you will get one coverage folder in the app. So if you go there, you can see index.html, just make it copy path, go here, and what you need to do, just make it controls V, and you will see. So this is your overall project coverage. Okay, so how many statements you have. So if you see 81 statements instead of, and 30 have been covered. Branches you have 11, so one only you have covered. Functions you have 24, but from that you have covered 8 functions. And lines you have 77, so you have covered only 26. So this will be only whatever functions you are writing, so those coverage you can see here. Okay, so let's me go to the this function where we have these user components. Okay, so let's go to user, and you will see user, so it is having only covered 21%. Now if you go to user, you can see here above whatever percentage wise you can see. And if you see here, this red line means it is not covered. You can see here how many times it is called. It is called 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, but the sales will have not covered. This is also not covered, this is also not covered. So wherever you are seeing this red, it means this is not covered. And sometimes you will see a yellow also, so it is partially covered. Yellow means partially covered. Okay, so now if you see here, yeah, now we'll go with this add function. Okay, so now I will give you one example how to cover this add. I already have written, I think. So this is what add function coverage. Let me just make it comment and then save. Again it will, and here also you can see statements, branches, how many percentage is covered, we can see. Okay, now it is changed 37 point because we have commented this. And now if you go, and if you, yeah, now if you see, this add is not covered. So how we can cover this and how you can test this function, so let's check. Okay, so first thing, it we need to make it a unique name for every test case. So this is what a name, so whenever it fails you will get this name, like user component should create failed, like that you need to. So just make it, make, I will make it to be false. Okay, just let me show you how you can get that. And yeah, so if you see here, just I have made it truthy instead of I have made it falsy. So you can see, if you see user component, then method name should create, here you have should create, and that is failed. That's why we need to write this as a unique name, so we'll get a clear idea where it is failed and why it is failed. So here it is saying, yeah, so because it is truthy, so that's why we need to make it truthy. Okay, now I will show you how to. So now we'll try to cover this add one. Okay, so just let me make me comment. So what is this? First we need to have, for we have add, and where we need to give input. So first we need to write this, and should call add method, we can say add method. Okay, now what I have created input, I have created two, whatever input. First we need to create whatever names, whatever inputs we are giving to the function, so those things we need to add here. Then second thing is whatever output also will get. So let's say we give input as 2, and what will become here, 2 plus 1 means 3, it will come. So 2 plus 1 3. So that also I have created one constant. And now how we can call this function, we will have a component above. So here we have a component, so we can use that component dot add. So here it will call this function, and we need to give this input, and it will give you output. So whatever output we got, so what we will get when we call this 2, it will give result of 3. Then 3 we are checking with this output, so 3 equals to 3, it will come. Let me show you. Okay, okay, so 8 test cases, so some of the other test cases are passing. So if we just need to check this component, here we can write f. So let me show you. Yeah, now only two test cases, because we have only two test case here, 1 and 2. So if you need to compare this one, component spec, otherwise you can have here as well, like f. So now it will call just this one, focus. F means focus. Okay, So now if you see, only one test case is called. And if you go here in Karma, if you if you see, you are getting run one of out of 8 spec. So only this user component should call add method, it is called, others it is not called. Okay, and we can make it X as well. So X will be skipped. Okay, X means skipped. Okay, it is already skipped, so it will not come, but yeah, if we make it X, then it will be skipped. Okay, so this is how we can do. So now I am showing you just add method, how to focus. Yeah, and if you make it here 4, then it will fail. Okay, so if you go, yeah, if you see, one failed because if it is having expected 3, but it is coming 2 equals to 4. So because we are giving 4, but here it is test is coming 3, that's what. If you see add, so we are passing 2 and then giving here 3. Okay, result will be 3 always, so that's why it is giving problem. So we need to make sure it should be same whatever function is written. Okay, once we saved, it will automatically give, and it will give you one success. And now if we go to this function coverage, if we refresh, now it is saying it is covered, and you can see 1x means one time it is called. Okay, now we can check undefined also. So how we can do, should call add with undefined, add method with undefined. Okay, so here input we are giving 0 and test we are checking, and we are checking it should be 1. Now it will skip because we have make it F. So now what we'll do, I will make it this component as F, and this one I will make it, so that whole things. So now if you see, three test cases have been covered, and we are seeing 3 have success. So if you see here Karma, this is for checking the test cases, and this is for coverage. So now if you see, yeah, 2 times it is called, so both it should. So we have checked positive as well as negative, so means 0 and the expected result. Okay, now we'll go for next function, it is even or odd. Okay, so now what we need to do, just copy this case, the structure we are copying. Okay, now what we need to change the method name. So whatever add, instead of add we will do, and we need to make sure this is also add even. Okay, now first thing we need to check what is the input. So input we need to give, so for that constant we are making 0 here. Okay, so input, and now what we need to have, so when you give input as 0, what it will be input, it will return you even, right? So just create one function, create one variable constant return, or we can make mock return equal to even. Okay, so it should be same because it is giving even or odd even to you return value. So expect dot, and if you see here, if you make it control space, you will have these things like to be close to be defined, to be falsy, to be true. So whenever you need to check true false, you can see to be greater than, to be greater than or equal to be instead. So these are the all expect methods. So what you are expecting, nan means not a number, negative, null, positive, infinity, to be true, to be false. These things we have at to equals, we have to have been called like this. We have multiple functions. Okay, so for this we need to use to equal. Okay, to equal, and we need to check it should be mock return. So it should, when you call this 0, it should give you even number. So when we go, yeah, it is saying if success. Now let me make it 1. So 0, so now it will fail, and it will give you what it is expected even, but equals whatever this is expected value. So it is even, it is saying, but whatever you are checking, it is even 1. So that's why we need to give always same whatever expected. And if you go to function, so you can see input 0 you have taken, so 0 divided by 2, it should give 0 reminder, whatever reminder. So after that it will give you even value, and it will return. So that is we are checking. Okay, so what we can do, should call even odd number with even value. Okay, now same method we need to write here, and we need to make it something even. So here we can make 10 as well, no issue. So 7, now it should give odd. Okay, and instead of even, now I can make it odd value. Okay, so now if you see 5 test cases are succeed. And now if we go to coverage folder, yeah, if you sorry, I need to show you when I make only even number, it will show only that one. Okay, now 4 test cases are passed. And now if you see, only this even one is covered, but else one is not covered. Okay, so for this way, so now if I run this one, it will cover odd one as well. Okay, now this is what even odd we have covered. Okay, now let's say we have one operation here, two uppercase is one operation. So where, how to check this? Okay, so this is one value, and we are using two uppercase, means it is one operation. Like again we have map something, we have concat. So these are the operations we need to make on the value. So what will happen if we give some value? So let me show you what is the. Okay, so just I have written some test cases for this. So first thing is, like, yeah, why it is we need to use this. So here you will understand why we are doing these things. Okay, so now I have given just should call uppercase method, and I have give test value. And what it needs to do, it needs to make it uppercase, otherwise I can write here like this. Okay, so this should be done. So yeah, it is getting now, it is getting, and it is making it test. Okay, so this is passing, so this is correct. Okay, now if we see, it is covered, this uppercase is covered one time because we have called one. But if we change it to like this, if we make that mock value as undefined, means we are passing undefined. Sometimes our application will call some method with undefined value, right, negative values. Then what will be the see how it will behave, we need to see that. So that, yeah, now if we see, it is giving cannot read property of undefined and reading uppercase. So this will come in your real time, this will be a exception, and your application breaks. Okay, like if something comes here value as undefined in your application, and you if you use this function, then it will break, and it will give exception, and your application will break, it will not give you other things. So to avoid this type of mistakes, we are using this unit test cases. Okay, now because this will break your things, and it will not give you value, so that how we need to do, if value, so first we need to check if that value is there or not, then only we can use this function, otherwise give empty. Now if we use this thing, So now what we are checking, if value, then value dot uppercase, otherwise empty. What is the problem? Or we can check like this way, if value, okay, like this way. So then only do value equals to value. Else value equals to empty. Okay, so now no need of this and no need of this as well. So if it is value there, then only. So we have some problem. So instead of using that value, because that is coming undefined, we need to make here return equals to here return and then return. Let me check, is it working? Maybe that whatever component it is taking previous only value. So like to avoid these mistakes, we need to make sure like it should give correct value. Oh sorry, here I think here we have problem, not there. So here I think we have problem, not here. Yeah, it is saying in spec.ts we are checking in the component.ts file. Yeah, now if you see zero success because okay, undefined and make it here empty. Now let me check what is the yeah 7 success because here it is making problem, that's why. So this now we have make this function correct. Okay, instead of that return undefined, now it is correct one because now we are making that, and then we are checking the value and then we are percent. So if same thing we have making the same thing we have deployed to any other server, so then it will make a problem and application will break. So to avoid these mistakes, this unit testing we need to cover. Okay, so like this way we can do this unit testing. Now I will tell you if it is going to any other thing, so we need to avoid that. It should be this whatever spec file we have, it should be in the same component. So here we are navigating to other, or we are calling to any other service or http client if we are calling, if we are having going to any other thing that we can avoid. So how we can avoid, let's check here. So first I will check navigate method. So just let me use this navigate function, navigate method. Okay, now first thing, we don't have any value in the function, so no need to write anything, nothing is required. Navigate we can give directly. Okay, this is not required. Navigate. Okay, now but we have this router navigate method, so what we need to do, we first constant spy. Okay, so when we have spy on, so like we in the JUnit of Java we have Mockito, so like that we have spy, and we have created router, we have injected router comma, and then we need to make this method, whichever method we are calling, so that it will not call that exact method, it will give you something. Okay, and so now it will not go to the exact thing, it will just spy, that means it will not call, it will just break that one, and then our thing will come. So how we can check spy on, and we need to check how many times it is called. So to be called, we have one method called times, and that we can check one, because only one time it is called. Yeah, now this comes, and now if you see 8 success, so this is also success. And if we go here, let me check how we can show. Okay, and coverage, where you can see, you need to go in coverage and index.html, copy path and paste here. So this will be user. Now if you see 39% is it is covered. So now if you see this 1 2 3 functions have been covered. Now let me check this service. Okay, how we need to, yeah, how we can spy other methods, and how we can return some value. So here we have service call, and we are checking this, and we are going to another service, but exactly we no need to go. So what we need to do, let me just show you. Okay, now we are calling to service, we are calling this service call. So service call, then service. Now what we are calling service. So we have injected this service here above. If you see service, we have injected and we have done data service. So same thing we need to use here. Instead of router, now service. Okay, and service method we need to add. What is the service method? Get generated, so it will not call that exactly. And now dot, and we need to use operation dot return value. Okay, and if it is observable, then you need to use off inside the value. Now I will make it 10. Okay, so that means whenever we are getting, so that means we need to give, and we can check here. So this is one thing, and we can also check that id, component dot id, component dot id, it should be 10 equals to 2 equals, it should be 10. Okay, or I will write 15, so it should be equal to 15, because here inside this component we are getting this id. So now when we call this, so here we have this one, and a id generator is here 10, but now we have spied, so that's why it will give 10. So, and component here, this dot id we have, so that component dot id, it should be 10, but here now we are spying, so it should be 15, and here it should be 15. Let me check, is it working? Yeah, it is working. And now if we go to that spy method also, if you refresh, here it is also covered. Okay, and it is not going to the service exact method, it is just spied, and you need to give this. So now if we go to the services, data service, and if you see this one, this method is not covered yet. So you need to write, you have one data service dot spec, there you can cover this file. Okay, so like this way you can do. Now if you see, it is covered 41.37%. so like this way you need to do. Again we have one sec, some methods. So now we'll check how to check true false value. So just I am checking this one. Okay, so again I will copy same thing. Now here this pi is not required, this is also not required. Okay, now copy, this is that method it is calling. So same I need to give, and I need to give some value. So first I will give correct value, so it will return something. So const test equal to, so what it is, it will return, if it is true it will return true. So just we'll check, control C, and we'll, so we, to check true false, we have values here to be true. Okay, and then we can use. So if you see now here, previously it is on 9, now it is 10%, and it is 44% covered. So it means this is, this method also, I think it is also covered. If you see here, click handler, and now true is covered. Now how to make false? So false, how to cover? Just copy, paste, and here you can make false method. So that we need to know same thing. So instead of foo, I am writing foo1. So foo1, it will now give false value, to be false. Okay, save it. So now I am giving value different, so it is foo, checking just foo, if it is there it is going. So like that. So now 11%, and now if you see, both have been covered. So 2 times it is called, but it will went here one time and here one time. Okay, now we'll check these 3 methods again, how to cover those. So here add q, we have string, so just make me here string, just pass any simple value. Just yeah. So you can pass any value. You it is not of your things. Date only it is checking, and this one date. So we can check this date as today's date or something. So how we can do component dot date value. It should be to be defined. We can to be defined. Yes, it is having some values. Okay, it should not be undefined. If you see, that is also covered, and now if you go here, and it should, you can see it is called one time. So this value, this dot value last we have, so it is having some value. So first we can make it undefined also. That is also we can do component dot date value equals to undefined. Okay, so to make sure what it is saying, string. So yeah, it is string. So we can make it here like this. Okay, but then also it will cover, because this now after this method it should be defined value. So this is how we can do. Now let me show get code. So here just we are having this dot code list. So this is also simple one. So how to cover this? So now we don't have any variables. So here what they are doing, get codes, code list. So what we have, yeah, code list we have. So code list we need to make empty. Okay, first we'll make one value 1. So here now it is not having, does it have a return value? Yeah, it is having return. So test, so test dot length we can check. Test dot length to be now here 2 equals. So equals, we need to check 1. Okay, because length is 1. Okay, by this, like this way you need to cover. And now if you go to here, you can see the coverage is, so like this way in your project you need to cover all the test cases. And now if you go to this thing, just main, I will go to main, remove this test file and check the application coverage. So it should be like, let me check, go back. Yeah, now it is 60% cover. So like this way, the whatever live projects you are doing in the profession, you need to make it 90% covered. So above 90% it is, if it is, then it will be good. Because otherwise what will happen, if it is not having coverage, the deployment will fail, because they are checking the coverage at the first time before deploying any project. So that's why this is very important to cover all the application, and it should be covered. So unit testing should be done properly, so that it will don't have any impact in your deployment. So like this way you need to do. Okay, thank you.